Since 1994, you all at Allergan have been working on the formulation of a product to reduce symptoms of chronic dry eye in thousands of sufferers worldwide. Originally known as Sting 1 and now known as Restasis, you all are facing an issue when it comes to the patent expiration of Restasis. In order to protect this patent, you all decided to transfer the patent to the St. Regis tribe, a controversial move. Due to the polarizing opinions of experts worldwide, this has created a rather complicated situation for your company. But no worry, we're here to help. Hi, I'm Crystal McDuffie.
And I'm Justin Schlacken.
And this is Allergan and the fight for Restasis. Let's take a look at a situation overview. Legally, you all decided to transfer the patent to the St. Regis tribe to avoid the Patent and Trademark Office's process of inter partes review. Financially, this legal decision looks as though it makes a lot of sense, because 80% of your $1.5 billion in Restasis sales are at risk. And while this decision was innovative, lawmakers and consumer groups are questioning whether it was ethical. So let's take a look at the stakeholders. We have Allergan and your employees, the St. Regis tribe, consumers, regulators, the pharmaceutical industry, and of course, the shareholders. But before we analyze the situation, let's take a look at who we are. What are our values? Our values are innovation, growth, and investment, as shown by our billions of dollars in research and development every year. Our values are focus and increase to consumer access for products. Our values also include a focus on branded treatments, and lastly, they include consumer and physician education. Let's take it over to Justin to start with our analysis, starting with the legal.
Thanks, Crystal. Because generic manufacturers were trying to invalidate the Restasis patent, Allergan had to undergo two separate patent review processes. Based on current regulations, Allergan had to base its case around the Hatch-Waxman Act and the Consumer Protection Act. Even though Allergan was able to transfer its patent to the St. Regis tribe, unfortunately, the patent was unexpectedly deemed invalid in federal court. Going back to this idea of double jeopardy, Allergan had to defend its patents in both the federal court and in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office process known as inter partes review. Now, why might a patent holder want to avoid inter partes review? Well, it's because patent holders generally dislike inter partes review because the standards of evidence tend to favor generic manufacturers. In order to avoid this risk, Allergan invoked the St. Regis tribe's status of sovereign immunity, shielding them from the second review. Allergan thought it would make its primary battle the federal circuit. But why exactly was our patent deemed invalid? Well, this goes back to the law patent concept of obviousness. To say a patent was non-obvious, meaning an invention must have some form of original creativity. That is, an invention cannot be a logical extension of an already existing invention. Think of this like having chocolate chips and adding them to a sugar cookie and then trying to patent the chocolate chip cookie. With the reformulation of Restasis, Allergan claimed efficacy levels 8 times greater than previously reported. However, the court ruled that there was no significant difference in the reformulation, and therefore ruled the Restasis patent invalid based on obviousness. With this decision, we have a lot at risk, with $1.5 billion in annual revenue being at stake, which is approximately 10% of Allergan's portfolio. And additionally, Restasis has already suffered a devaluation of $3.2 billion. Let's go back to Crystal for an ethical analysis of Allergan's decision history.
So ethically, we have 3 main questions to ask when analyzing this decision. First, what was Allergan's intention when transferring the patent to the St. Regis tribe? Second, what are the effects of this decision on the tribe, the consumers, and the company? And lastly, does this position Allergan as a company that consistently makes good decisions? Let's go ahead and start with intent, with deontology and the categorical imperative. That consists of good intent, respecting persons, and universal consistency. Unfortunately, we cannot say that Allergan exercised good intent when transferring the patent to the St. Regis tribe, due to them using the patent as a means to an end of them protecting their profits. We cannot say that they respected persons as ends in themselves. Lastly, this does not promote a standard of universal consistency that we would like to see across the pharmaceutical industry. Next, let's take a look at utilitarianism. This decision had great benefits for Allergan, and it had great benefits for the St. Regis tribe, and it increased both of their revenues. However, this decision harmed consumers, and it also harmed regulators. From a virtue theory perspective, let's look at Aristotle's concept of character excellence, which is defined as doing the right thing in the right way and in the right time. Virtue is learned through practice and habit and not isolated decisions, so what we decided to do was take a look at Allergan's decision-making history. Unfortunately, Allergan has a history of making questionable decisions, as shown by its $600 million fine to the Department of Justice in 2010 for mismarketing Botox. This decision with the St. Regis tribe continues Allergan's history of questionable decision-making. So as you've seen, this decision was in Allergan's best financial interest, and it was legally permissible. However, we have deemed it unethical. Not to worry though, our strategic recommendations will get you back on track to being a thought leader in the pharmaceutical industry. Let's take it to Justin to see how we can maximize value for the consumers, the community, and the company.
With our recommendations, we want to reallocate our revenues. Additionally, we want to decrease the price for Restasis, and we want to create a new corporate social responsibility plan. In 2017, nearly 66% of Allergan's revenues came from its top 10 drugs, Restasis being nearly 10% of that. By utilizing our sales reps to focus on our other products, we can ensure greater diversification. Additionally, if this same situation occurs with any of our other patents, we will already be safeguarded. Additionally, the patent cliff is inevitable. Using this strategy, we can protect ourselves from future patent expirations in the future. With the onset of a generic expected to enter the market, we would like to reduce the price of Restasis to better match the market. With a reduction, we can hope for a 50% market share retainment as compared to an 80 to 85% market share loss. Crystal mentioned a CSR plan, so let's go back to her to break it down.
This CSR plan will consist of first, a statement of understanding issued to all parties involved and affected by this decision. Next, we will unveil and follow a new company-wide objective decision-making framework for all decisions to be based on in the future. And lastly, we will create a St. Regis educational partnership. Let's start with our objective decision-making framework with the 3 goals of respecting persons, promoting innovation, and maximizing profits in that order. With respecting persons, every entity that we collaborate with in the future will know that they are being respected as persons as ends in themselves and not as means to an end. With the promotion of innovation, we will continue to allocate these billions of dollars to research and development to provide patients with the most cutting-edge and newest medical options. Last, we will maximize our profits to fulfill our fiduciary responsibility to our stakeholders. Let's go ahead and take a look at the St. Regis educational partnership that we have planned. Although if this appeal is not granted, the St. Regis tribe will lose its promised revenues. However, as we are respecting them as ends in themselves, we have to continue our partnership with them. And so we decided to change that to an educational partnership where we fund $15 million to promote STEM education in the Native American community, partnered with the St. Regis tribe. This will also give Allergan's employees a chance to get involved in the community as they can teach workshops and...
Thank you.